Aspire is today introducing the Abu Dhabi Autonomous Racing League called A2RL, and the work being done by the Advanced Technology Research Council of Abu Dhabi in the fields of autonomous driving and artificial intelligence. We are at TRC. At TRC, as I said before, the Advanced Technology Research Council of Abu Dhabi. Our core mission is to drive the diversification of Abu Dhabi economy and support the development of an intensive knowledge-based ecosystem. We have two specific missions. The first one is to create the alignment between the innovation needs of governments and industry players, both locally and globally, with the research and development capabilities offered by TII, the Technology Innovation Institute, part of TRC. While our primary focus is to prioritize and develop key technologies that will support the future industrial development of Abu Dhabi, we also have a global perspective allowing us to bring the Abu Dhabi R&D capabilities to the world. Second, and this is the fun part of my job, we organize grand challenges, international competitions that allow to accelerate the development of advanced technologies capable of addressing big problems affecting the way we work and the way we live. Today, we'll focus on what we do on grand challenges and specifically on mobility with A2RL. Before to talk about A2RL, and because I'm not a scientist, I have a degree in political sciences, so I love to connect back to history, which teaches a lot of things. I want to go back to when grand challenges started. And we are back in the 18th century and the creation of the Longitude Prize. So global trade then and still today rely on sea transportation. And inability to measure longitude at sea resulted in the loss of more than 20% of the ships, which was amazingly complicated to imagine in terms of business, but also in terms of lives. So while longitude could be measured using just the angle of the sun, longitude required the ability to know the time on board a ship relative to the time on a port where we knew the longitude. To solve this problem, a ship clock capable of keeping accurate time at sea was needed. Eventually, merchant and sea captains banded together and brought the petition to the British Parliament. The British Parliament decided to take action and launch a grand challenge, a prize of £20,000 at the time, £1.5 million today, to solve the problem and to build up a clock able to calculate longitude with an accuracy of half a degree. Grand challenges were born. Then a long story started, and for 14 years, people tried without any success, until the day a guy called John Harrison, a carpenter with no scientific background, found a solution. He tested and tested the solution and finally proved it to the parliament, and his maritime chronometer has been then developed and implemented in every single boat. It took him more than 20 years to finalize it. Didn't get paid fully by the government, by the way, but this is another story. But this has proven a few things. The first one is that critical role of technology at the steam age that changed totally the way navigation was made. It reduced drastically the number of ships lost and the lives lost during this time. And finally, it boosted economic growth. Now, if we go back to grand challenges and what we do at Aspire, we are running several of them, and all of them on very interesting topics. We have recently finalized the MBZ IRC challenge, which is one of the most advanced challenges globally in maritime autonomous robotic and AI solutions, which has been finalized last week in Abu Dhabi. In June, we will have the X-Prize Feeds the Next Billion challenge, which is about alternative protein developments. And in April 24, the 27th of April, we will have the A2RL race in Abu Dhabi. Now, let's talk about A2RL and mobility specifically. Mobility, as we said, has a lot of challenges, and we have been discussing about some of them in this session today. It's about the size of the vehicle. We're moving from very big vehicles to small vehicles. So in the UAE, we still see big SUVs, but this is a trend globally. We are moving from fossil fuel to alternative engines, electric engines, and H2-driven engines. We are moving to a shared economy where in most of the cities now globally, we are sharing our cars. More importantly, and this is where we work, there is a challenge around moving from human-driven cars to algorithm-driven cars. And this is the topic of A2RL. What we want to do is to solve big problems. and disrupting the technology we use today. And autonomous driving for us is one of the solutions. One of the big challenges we have in mobility today is that 1.3 million people die every single year on the roads, and more than 50 million people get wounded seriously, right? So the impact is very important. Going back to my first slide on the Longitude Act, we are really working on stuff that matter. What is very important, and during the first panel we discussed about that this morning, is about the resistance to adoption. So yes, regulatory elements are very important, technology advancements are very important, but today, while we already saw significant improvement, we still have strong resistance from the users. Lane control, which most of the modern cars use today, is switched off by 50% of the users because they feel extremely uncomfortable having someone adjusting the way they drive. And we saw recently on a couple of movies these scenes where Tesla cars were going mad. Clearly, there is a fear in adopting these technologies and in moving forward. What we are doing at A2RL has been tested already in the past and failed, have not brought what we were expecting, right? So RoboRace, for the one who remember, 10 years ago, started introducing the concept of autonomous driving. They made a couple of races, but because of issue in funding and the technology they were using, it stopped. Today, it's a total virtual solution, right, for people playing in the metaverse. The Indy Challenge in the US is actually running. It's a very good progress, but at a level of complexity which has nothing to do with what we are doing. They're basically running only 2 cars at the same time on an oval circuit, which is kind of easy to handle and to manage. With A2RL and the job we're doing at ATRC, we basically want to use extreme sports to test the limits of autonomy on land, sea, and air. So we are using racing cars, and this is what we are going to do in April, with the EAV24 based on the SF23, which is to all effect a Formula One car. We will launch very soon a drone race, autonomous drone race, off-road buggies, and boat racing. So as you see, we are testing really autonomy in extreme conditions. And we believe that testing autonomy in extreme conditions will create more acceptance in the public. Now, this is a car. As you can see, it is exactly as any Formula One car. Basically, what we have done, we have taken an SF23, we have stripped out the driver, the pilot module, and we have installed actuators, sensors, cameras, LiDAR, radar, GPS, plus a computer that will allow the teams to basically put on it what we call the driver, which is nothing less than artificial intelligence. Let me now introduce you the car.
Let me blow your mind. What you're looking at is a super formula car that can go up to speeds of 300 kilometers per hour. But guess what? It doesn't even have a driver. It uses AI to learn how to drive itself. Now you're probably asking, how does it make decisions at 300 kilometers per hour? Well, there are 7 cameras like this, 3 LiDAR sensors, and 4 radars around the car that help act as the eyes and the ears. They help map out the environment around the car, and they take all of that information, send it to the brain of the car, which sits right there instead of the driver, and that brain will then process all of that information in real time to make decisions on the spot. Now, there's going to be 10 of these cars in the Yas Marina circuit competing for a prize pool of $2.25 million US. If you want to find out more about the race, make sure you follow for more.
So that's one of the videos we are launching this day on the social media. It is very important to notice that we are basically supplying the cars to the team. So we are providing to anyone the same exact technology, the same exact technical support. What will make the difference is the quality of the coding that each team is going to build up, the ways they're going to teach to the car to drive. So basically, you can basically decide if your driver is going to be extremely aggressive, extremely protective, attack, defend. You will shape the mind of your driver. The moment we push a button, there is no human intervention. All the cars will race at the same time and fight for the victory. We will have this race on the 27th of April on the Yas Marina circuit. Compared to what Indy is doing today, this is an extremely challenging situation. I guess for people who know AI, they will understand the complexity to put together at least 3 cars at the same time at a speed of 200 plus kilometers. Today, it's easy to run an autonomous car at 250, 280. Some of other teams have done that in the past, but in a straight line. In this case, what we want to achieve is at least 3 to 4 cars running at the same time at 250 plus kilometers per hour and fighting, right? So really pushing to the limit autonomous driving. The type of format we're going to use are going to be diverse because we want to also use this opportunity to test various techniques. We're going to have an attack and defense situation where 2 cars are going to fight together, pure speed on the circuit to bend the limits only with 1 car, and finally a multi-car race with at least 3 cars running at the same time and fighting for victory. Introduction of the teams. So today we are working with the most advanced university teams and teams doing research and development in autonomous driving. We have people from all around the world, from the US to China, plus a local team, and the most important European teams from Politecnico di Milano or TUM, who are recognized to be the champions in that domain. And as we are building up a league going forward, we expect to have several races on a year basis, not for sport, but for science advancements. We have already a long lineup of research centers and private companies that are willing to participate and test the technology with us. Finally, last but not least, for whatever we do at TRC and at Aspire, we want to make sure we educate the future generations. So we already have organized a similar competition, but with these small cars running at 100 kilometers per hour, with more than 20 schools and 200 kids and young adults who are participating in learning how to code and how to use this technology going forward. And I'm wishing to see all of you on the 27th of April in Abu Dhabi in 25 days. Thank you very much.